What's up, guys? It's your girl Nosh. We're going to be talking about the Mercury retrograde. The Mercury retrograde in a Virgo. Now, why is this one important? First of all, why do you think all retrogrades are important? Please comment down at the bottom. Please let me know why you think all retrogrades are important. Because I know since we see them happening so many times, every 6 to 7 months there's a retrograde, and people really don't acknowledge the importance of a retrograde. Mercury is the fastest moving planet, right? So when it moves, when it transitions from one zodiac sign to another zodiac sign, it usually takes about 6 to 7 months, right? That's why we constantly have Mercury retrogrades. And then the other planets, they do their thing according to the time that they do it. I think the longest positioning station planet is Saturn. It takes Saturn 29 years to move. Isn't that amazing? 29 years for Saturn to move. Because Saturn is the slowest planet. No offense, Saturn, but the reason why Saturn does that is because it needs to really have you rooted. Okay, so when you're born, right? You're just a little tiny little infant coming out of your mama's womb, right? Wherever Saturn is on that day, it's going to stay there, right? It's going to stay there for a long time to get you rooted, to get you deep into understanding who you are and what your purpose is. Then it comes back again 29 years later. Like say you're born in a certain era and it's Saturn in Capricorn. The day that you were born, it was Saturn in Capricorn. As you turn, you get older. You don't know how long Saturn's been sitting there, so it moves into its different zodiac. But 29 years later, it does come back. That's why we say it takes Saturn the longest time to move, because when it stations, it really stations and it sits there. It basically sits there for a while. Because Saturn is time. Saturn is karma. Chronos, father time, right? So Mercury, it is the fastest one. Like, it moves quickly, just like Mercury's communication. What is communication? Quickness, right? You send a text. Technology is ruled by Mercury. You send a text, a person gets it in 2 seconds. You remember when we used to have to dial up internet? In a couple of minutes, you'd be on internet. So if you want to send something from the East Coast to Bulgaria, it takes about 2 seconds with technology, right? That's why Mercury rules technology. Mercury rules your thought pattern, your thought frame, your mental. Why? Because you have a thought, bam, strike. You create something. How long does it take for a thought to travel to your mind? Less than light years. So this is why we talk about Mercury retrograde, especially in Virgo. And then this is why Mercury retrogrades are important. I'm going to get into that now. The reason why Mercury retrogrades are important is because they are a checkpoint. When you're playing a game and you need to save the game, you have to get to a checkpoint. For all my Mario Karters, for all my Super Nintendo players, my Xboxers, my PlayStationers, when you are my gamers, you know how you're playing a game and you have to get to a certain checkpoint to save all of that. All of that activity that you just done on level 1, you got to save it so you can get to level 2. If you don't save that activity, what happens? You got to start from the beginning again, right? So the Mercury retrograde is a checkpoint. Every 6 to 7 months, it comes into your life, depending on what zodiac sign it is, to remind you, have you checked these items? Did you check this baggage here? AKA, it's like TSA at the airport. Did you check this? Are you sure you want to move ahead with this? It's like that annoying cashier. You sure you want this? This is a lot of money. You sure you want it? Why are you buying this? You look like you don't need to be eating this. Oh my God. Oh God, I cracked myself up. So that's what a retrograde is in place for. To remind you. It's a simple, clear reminder. You sure you want to move forward? You sure you need to bring all of this on the plane? This is contraband. This can't go on the plane. This can't go on the plane. You can't enter into the country with this stuff here. You can't enter into the state with this stuff here. Meaning you cannot enter into the next level with whatever you're trying to enter with it. If you're still dealing with an ex that you're not supposed to be with, or someone in your life that you're not supposed to be with, Mercury retrograde is not going to let you enter the level that you need to enter because of the baggage that you're carrying. And that baggage being those people, that job, that thinking, that lifestyle, that way of living, the way that you talk, the way that you carry yourself. It may not be suitable for the next level that you need to go into. So Mercury retrograde is like, hey, stop. Turn around. Touch your toes. Touch your knees. Touch your shoulders, not touch your head. No, something's up. You got to go back. So when Mercury retrogrades, says you have to go back. That is simply the situations and the things arriving in your life that you've seen before. Like last Mercury retrograde was, I think, sometime in March something. It was like 6 months ago, just about, right? Like that time period, early winter, late winter, early spring, something like that. So whatever was going on during that time period, like say you were working somewhere and you had issues with your coworker back early springtime or late winter, right? If that situation was solved, meaning if you solved it with your coworkers or at work and you moved forward or you found another job, right? That should not be happening this Mercury retrograde. You should be clear. It'll be something else then. Maybe an ex will call you, or maybe an old friend you'll run into, or maybe someone from your past life will come into your life and you need to, solidify that with them during this retrograde. But if you continued working where you were having conflict last Mercury retrograde, this Mercury retrograde, same thing is going to happen. And this time you're going to be pushed out. So if some of you have lost your jobs or had something major happen at your workplace, it was because it was Mercury retrograde telling you no longer need to be here. This is a time period where it reminds you, are you being treated the way you need to be treated? Are you being compensated for the things that you've been doing properly? Are you being cheated? If you're being cheated, you don't need to be there anymore. And same thing goes for relationships and people in your life. If you had an argument with someone last Mercury retrograde and you're noticed after that Mercury retrograde, you don't talk to that person anymore, good for you. Don't bring that person back into your life. It was there. It was done for a reason. But if you find out that you argued with that person, you made up, and now this Mercury retrograde, you argued with this person again, and you fought with this person, and now you're not talking to this person again, keep that as a sign. That means you should not be having this person into your life. You will fight again with this person. That's what Mercury retrogrades are about. To show you what you are not seeing. Especially in Virgo. Virgo sits in the 6th house. It's about your income. It's about your daily work. It's about your daily routine. So think about that for a second. So if your daily routine or your income was being interrupted last Mercury retrograde and is being interrupted again, there is something that you need to do differently. Either find another job, find another career, go somewhere else. But wherever you are, it is not where you're supposed to be. Your cycle is up. Because before all the other Mercury retrogrades, you were fine. But this one that we just had in spring, I really got to figure out which one was the last one that we had. The last Mercury retrograde that we had for 2024. Please go back and look into that time period, that timeline, right? What was going on with you? Were you arguing with someone? Were you arguing at work? Were you arguing with your boss? Were you arguing with your parents? What was going on? Where was the conflict? If that conflict is arising again during this Mercury retrograde, that is telling you that you no longer need to be there. You need to move on. You need to find something else. So by the time this Mercury retrograde is done, you should be somewhere new. Got it? And this is how we work with Mercury retrogrades. Again, these planets that are transitioning and stationing in their new zodiac places, it is to help us. The stars were always meant to guide us, guys. I don't care what anybody says. You cannot get me to stop believing that the stars don't guide us. Long time ago, merchants used their boats, right, to get to places. You know what they used as navigation? The stars. So how can you sit there and tell me that the stars do not navigate us? And if you really still think that stars don't navigate us, then I really don't want to have a conversation with you, because I don't talk to people who are not open to believing that things can be possible. So in my mind, the stars do guide us. The stars do predict what's going to happen. The stars do tell us what's coming. And they do warn us of what can happen. So if you guys are trying to look for that, please book a reading with me. I do sessions. I'm available since it's summer. So please, please, please do yourself a favor. If you're really lost and you really want to try to figure out where you should go, where you need to be, please book a session with me and I can help you with a birth chart. I can help you with a prediction by looking at the stars and telling you where you should be and where you should not be. But that being said, also during this time period, transmute energy. This is the perfect time, especially it's summer. It's hot outside. What happens when it's hot? The heat. What does the heat do? It transforms things. Okay? I'll give you an example. You throw something in a frying pan, right? You put oil in a frying pan. You see how it starts popping? It starts moving. Heat makes things move. Heat makes things transform. You take gold, right? You take gold and you heat it up and you can melt it into something else. It's called alchemy. Heat is the best thing to use in order to create alchemy. When I say heat is the best thing to use when creating alchemy, that is when you should take all the energies around, especially if it's negative energies, transmute it into what you need it to be. Like in every video, I will teach you this till you guys get it and you guys understand it. So now if you want to say it with me, you can say it with me or you can play the video back. I transmute all negative energy that is being sent to me, all talks that are about me that are hateful, all thinking that is hateful about me, everyone hating me, being jealous, envious, putting obstacles and roadblocks in my path. I transmute all that energy that people are putting into stopping me from becoming what I need to be. I transmute all that energy into positive energy that helps me become successful. It helps me make more money. It helps bring in more connections that are heart-to-heart connections, that are true, authentic, genuine connections. It brings in more abundance. It brings in more wealth and health and success and prosperity into my life. So mote it be, so mote it be, so mote it be. I transmute all hateful energy that is being sent towards me into positive energy that helps me heal myself while I help others heal. So mote it be, so mote it be, so mote it be. All you got to do is say, I take all the negative energy being thrown at me and I transmute it into positive energy that helps me blah, 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 blah. Add in whatever you need. You want long hair, you want a thin waist, you want clear skin, you want more money, you want more success, just add it in there. That is called alchemy. When you do this, you no longer have to be afraid of people trying to come at you because you are going to use their energy to get what you want. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's called being an alchemist. It's called taking the bricks that people throw at you and building something with it. Remember that, okay? So that during this Mercury retrograde, you find yourself being hated by people, good. Use that hate to build something that you want. All right, so I'm going to leave you guys with that message. I hope everyone is safe. Again, if you need a session for a tarot reading, past life regression, you need a Reiki session, I'm doing Reiki again. If you need a birth chart done, let me know. If you want a horoscope spread that tells you a forecast of the next coming 6 months of what's going to happen in your life, I'm available for that. Please DM me on my Instagram. It's called I'm Your Dad. I am YERHDAD_. Message me there and I'll be happy to book you a session. All right. I love you guys. I'll see you next time around. Mwah. Bye.